Okay, so imagine this. You're a Navy pilot just, on a routine training exercise, and all of a sudden you're facing near collisions with something you can't even identify.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened to our first guest, retired Rear Admiral Tim Gallaudet.
Right.
And get this, he even got an urgent email about it from a high-ranking military official.
Wow.
But then the email just vanished, like poof, gone.
Out.
Today, we're going to dive deep into the world of UAPs.
Yes.
You know those unidentified anomalous phenomena we used to just call UFOs?
Right.
And we're going to try to understand the mysteries surrounding them.
It's interesting because we're not just dealing with those old grainy photos or shaky videos anymore, right? We've got testimony from really well-respected figures right there in a congressional hearing, sharing their firsthand experiences.
It's incredible.
We're talking about potential government cover-ups, objects that seem to defy the laws of physics.
It's crazy.
And even whispers of these crash retrieval programs.
Seriously, it sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie.
I know.
But let's break it all down, starting with Admiral Gallaudet's experience.
Okay.
It was 2015, a pre-deployment exercise off the U.S. East Coast.
Right.
Involving the USS Theodore Roosevelt Carrier Strike Group. What exactly went down?
Well, during the exercise, pilots started reporting these encounters with these unidentified objects. Some even had near midair collisions.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The concern was serious enough that the USS Fleet Forces Command, they sent out an email to multiple recipients, including Admiral Gallaudet.
Okay, so what did this email say?
It was really urgent, basically saying, hey, we've got these unidentified objects causing near collisions, and if anyone knows what they are, tell us right away.
Wow, that's a pretty clear sign that they were dealing with something out of the ordinary.
For sure.
What happened next?
Well, this is where it gets strange.
Okay.
The very next day, the email vanished.
What?
Just gone perf from Admiral Gallaudet inbox.
Huh?
And reportedly from everyone else who received it.
So no explanation, no follow-up.
Oh.
Hold on, so they have this alarming incident.
Yeah.
Pilots reporting near collisions.
Right.
There's this documented evidence in the form of the Go Fast video.
Yes.
And then radio silence.
Right.
What could explain that?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, some might say it points to a deliberate attempt to, suppress information. Like maybe the incident was considered too sensitive or too revealing about, classified programs or technologies.
That makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
Speaking of classified programs, that brings us to our next expert witness, Lou Elizondo.
Right.
He's a former Department of Defense official, and he actually managed a special access program, SAP, focused on UAPs.
That's right.
Now, for those who might not be familiar with SAPs, these are highly classified programs,
Yeah.
with very restricted access, often dealing with sensitive technologies or intelligence.
Exactly.
What's really striking about Elizondo's testimony is his claim that the Pentagon has a psychological operations officer.
A PSYOP's expert.
Right, a PSYOP's expert, as the only point of contact for any UAP inquiries from the public or the media.
It's pretty interesting.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Why do you think they'd have someone with a background in psychological operations handling this kind of thing?
Well, it definitely raises some questions about the government's objectives.
For sure.
Are they trying to, manage the narrative around UAPs?
Yeah.
Maybe to downplay the significance or even discredit witnesses. It certainly feeds into the idea that there's an effort to control what information gets out there.
So we've got these vanishing emails, a PSYOP's officer handling inquiries. It all sounds a bit like a cover-up, doesn't it?
It's definitely suggestive.
Yeah.
And Elizondo goes even further. He claims that the government has actually conducted programs to recover and reverse engineer crashed UAPs.
Really?
He even hints that some contractors might possess UAP technology.
Wait, so if that's true, then how do they justify denying the existence of these recovered craft?
Right.
Especially when there's testimony suggesting that the government has compensated individuals who claim to have been injured by UAPs. It seems contradictory.
Exactly. Those contradictions just fuel the suspicion.
Yeah.
Surrounding how the government's handling the whole UAP issue. It's like they're saying one thing publicly, but potentially doing something totally different behind the scenes.
It's very strange.
It is.
Let's move on to Michael Schellenberger. He's an investigative journalist who's been digging deep into this whole world of secrecy.
Okay.
He's uncovered information about a supposed secret UAP program called Immaculate Constellation.
Right.
What can you tell us about that?
Well, Schellenberger, he provided this 12-page document to the committee describing Immaculate Constellation.
Okay.
And he claims this program gathers UAP observations from all sorts of sources.
Like what?
Like satellites, aircraft, and even ships at sea.
Wow.
And his sources describe a huge variety of UAPs. We're not just talking about, lights in the sky, but spheres, orbs, triangles, boomerangs, even what they call irregular organic shapes.
Irregular organic shapes. What does that even mean?
It's not totally clear, but it suggests something that just doesn't fit our usual idea of aircraft or technology.
Right.
Something almost biological in how it looks.
That's strange.
Yeah, and Schellenberger also claims that the government has hundreds, maybe even thousands of high-resolution images and videos of these UAPs.
So there could be this massive amount of evidence out there that the public hasn't seen.
Potentially.
And it's not just visual data, is it?
No.
Schellenberger's Immaculate Constellation document also mentions human intelligence gathered from individuals who've had these close encounters with UAPs.
Yes.
And here's where things get really interesting. Some types of UAPs, particularly spheres, orbs, and triangles, they're associated with these really strange effects on humans.
That's right.
Like what kind of effect?
Well, we're talking about a whole range of things like feelings of unease, electronic devices, malfunctioning anxiety, insomnia, a sense of being watched, even physical sensations like sudden warmth or cold, unexplained smells, and even psychological distress.
It's a bit unsettling, isn't it?
Yeah.
To think that there could be objects out there capable of affecting us in these really profound ways.
It is a bit strange.
And what about the alarming number of UAP sightings near nuclear facilities? Is that just a coincidence?
Well, Elizondo claims that many sensitive R&D and nuclear sites are under some kind of surveillance by these unidentified craft.
Really?
He even mentioned an incident at Oak Ridge National Laboratory where a so-called weather balloon that was actually controlled passed near the facility.
Controlled by whom?
That's what they're trying to figure out.
It's a chilling thought.
It is.
To think that these objects, whatever they are taking a particular interest in our most sensitive sites.
Yeah, it raises serious concerns about national security.
Definitely. I mean, what are they interested in? And why the focus on nuclear facilities? And then there's the potential threat to pilots, both military and civilian.
Right.
Admiral Gallaudet shared his firsthand experience with near collisions during that naval exercise.
Yeah.
It's clear that these encounters can be really dangerous.
Absolutely. And that's why legislation like the Safe Airspace for Americans Act is so important.
What does that do?
Well, it aims to create a confidential reporting system for civilian pilots.
Oh,
so they can report UAP encounters without fear of ridicule or, repercussions.
Makes sense.
Right.
Pilots need a way to share their experiences without jeopardizing their careers.
For sure.
But it still leaves us with that fundamental question. What are these UAPs?
Right.
Are they advanced technology from foreign adversaries, top secret government programs, natural phenomena we don't understand yet, or, as some believe, non-human intelligence?
So many possibilities.
It's a lot to think about.
It is.
We've got our final expert witness, Michael Gold, a former NASA official who served on the NASA UAP Independent Study Team.
Okay.
He suggests NASA could have a crucial role in UAP research. What does he propose?
Well, he points out that NASA has these huge archives of data and imagery.
Right.
And they could develop algorithms to search for anomalous phenomena within those archives.
Oh, that's sore.
He also supports using NASA's Aviation Safety Reporting System, or ASRS, as a confidential way for civilian pilots to report UAP encounters.
So it sounds like we need more data. More high-quality observations to really understand what we're dealing with.
Absolutely. We can't rely on blurry cockpit footage or grainy cell phone videos forever.
You need a more rigorous scientific approach.
Exactly, one that involves experts from different fields, astronomers, physicists, engineers, data scientists, all working together to analyze this data and come up with plausible explanations.
It seems like we've only just scratched the surface of this mystery.
I think so.
There's so much, we don't know, so many questions unanswered.
Yeah.
But one thing is for sure, the UAP issue is not going away.
Definitely not.
The evidence keeps growing. The public's demand for answers is only getting stronger.
That's right. We're at this really fascinating and maybe even a little unsettling crossroads.
Yeah.
It's time to face this challenge head-on, to demand transparency from our leaders and work towards a deeper understanding of what we're dealing with.
We've got a lot more to unpack, so stay with us as we continue our deep dive into the world of UAPs.
It's going to be good. We've heard some pretty amazing testimony so far about UAPs,
That's
right?
It's incredible.
Now let's kind of shift gears a little and explore the different explanations for what these things could actually be.
Okay.
I mean, are we talking about some super advanced tech from, rival nations,
Right.
secret government projects, or maybe something even more out there.
Okay, so let's unpack some of those possibilities.
Yeah.
Some experts suggest that, at least some UAPs could be really advanced technology developed by countries like China or Russia.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. I mean, we've seen these really fast advancements in things like hypersonic missiles, stealth technology, and drone swarms, right? These are areas where other nations are making some serious progress.
But could those technologies really explain the kinds of flight capabilities we've been talking about?
That's the question.
The things witnesses describe seem to completely defy, our current understanding of physics.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And it brings us to another theory: top secret government programs.
Okay.
Could some of these UAPs actually be experimental aircraft or drones developed by our own government? But so classified that even high-ranking officials aren't in the loop.
It sounds a little like a conspiracy theory, but we know these black budget programs exist.
That's right.
Like the development of the stealth bomber was kept super secret for years.
Exactly. It wouldn't be that crazy for the government to be developing some super advanced technology in total secrecy.
But then why keep it secret from even high-ranking military officials?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You'd think they would need to know about these programs, especially if there's a chance of, misidentification or even accidental engagement.
You would think so, but maybe there are just levels of secrecy within the government that we can't even imagine.
Right? Like compartmentalization on a scale we just don't get.
Exactly.
So we've got foreign adversaries, secret government programs. Are there any other explanations out there?
Well, there's always the chance that some UAP sightings could just be natural phenomena that we haven't fully figured out yet.
Like what?
Well, think about things like ball lightning sprites, those weird atmospheric anomalies.
True. There's still so much we don't know about our own planet.
Exactly.
But some of these UAP reports describe objects doing things that seem impossible for any aircraft we know of.
Right.
Let alone something like a natural phenomenon.
Yeah, that's true. And that kind of leads us to the most interesting and maybe controversial theory of all non-human intelligence.
Like extraterrestrial craft. Are we talking about aliens?
It's the theory that's, fascinated us for decades.
Yeah.
And for many people, it seems like the most logical explanation for the stuff that some UAPs have been seen doing.
I mean, if we're talking about civilizations that could be thousands or even millions of years ahead of us technologically, wouldn't their tech seem almost magical to us?
Oh, absolutely. And the implications of that are just huge.
Yeah.
It would mean we're not alone in the universe.
Wow.
And that there are beings out there with technology that's beyond anything we can even understand right now.
That would totally change how we see ourselves and our place in the cosmos.
It really would.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Is there any real evidence to support this whole extraterrestrial idea?
Well, not in the way we usually think of evidence.
Okay.
Like, we don't have any confirmed alien artifacts or spaceships or anything like that, but just the number of credible eyewitness accounts, the reports of these objects performing seemingly impossible maneuvers, and the fact that we don't have any other really convincing explanation.
Yeah.
It all kind of adds up to a pretty compelling case.
It does sound like we're getting into speculation territory here.
Yeah, a little bit.
But even if we just entertain the possibility of extraterrestrial visitors, it opens up a whole new can of worms, right? For sure. What are their intentions? Why are they here? Are they a threat?
Those are questions that we just can't answer for sure right now.
Yeah.
But it's super important to remember that we shouldn't dismiss any theory just because it sounds strange.
Right.
The scientific method, it requires us to be open to all possibilities.
Right.
We need to follow the evidence wherever it leads.
Speaking of evidence, we can't forget about the testimony about potential crash retrieval programs and reverse engineering efforts.
Right.
If the government really does have UAP technology, that changes everything, doesn't it?
It would be a total game changer.
Yeah.
Imagine the breakthroughs we could have in energy propulsion materials, science.
It's mind-blowing.
The possibilities are almost limitless.
But with those advancements come some serious risks, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
If this technology is from a non-human intelligence, how do we make sure it's used ethically and responsibly?
Right.
Who would even control it?
Those are huge questions that we as a society would have to figure out. It would take a level of global cooperation and ethical thinking that we've never really seen before.
It's a lot to wrap your head around.
It really is.
So where do we go from here? What can we actually do to get some real answers about UAPs and push for more transparency?
Well, congressional oversight is key.
Okay.
Lawmakers need to demand answers from the executive branch, hold hearings, issue subpoenas if they have to.
Right.
The public deserves to know what the government knows.
And what about us as individuals? What can we do?
Well, we need to stay informed and engage in critical thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Hold our elected officials accountable.
Right.
We can support those organizations that are dedicated to UAP research and advocacy.
Yeah.
And encourage open and honest conversations about all of this.
What about the whistleblowers who are risking their careers to bring this information to light?
They're so important. We need to support them.
Absolutely.
They're playing a crucial role in getting the truth out there.
Yeah.
We need to make sure they're protected and their voices are heard.
Okay, so after diving into this world of unexplained phenomena, alleged cover-ups, mind-blowing theories, where do we even stand now?
Good question.
Are we on the brink of some huge revelation, or are we stuck in the dark?
It's really impossible to say for sure.
Yeah.
But one thing's certain, the UAP issue isn't going anywhere.
Right.
The evidence is piling up, the questions are still there, and the public wants answers more than ever.
Uh-huh.
It feels like we're at a crossroads.
Yeah.
You know, our understanding of the universe and our place in it is changing in a big way.
It's exciting and a little scary,
It is.
but we can't just ignore it.
No.
We have to embrace the unknown and face it with courage and curiosity.
Exactly.
Wow, we've really covered a lot in this deep dive into UAPs.
I have.
From, those firsthand accounts of encounters to the implications of government secrecy and these mind-boggling technologies.
It's a lot to take in, isn't it?
It is.
We've gone from those grainy videos and like whispers and rumors to congressional hearings and expert testimony.
Right.
It feels like we're living in a science fiction movie. I know.
But this is really happening.
It is. What really stands out to me is just the sheer variety of explanations we've talked about.
Yeah.
It might not be a simple either situation.
Right.
We could be dealing with foreign adversaries, top secret government programs, natural phenomena that we just don't understand, and even maybe non-human intelligence.
I think that's what makes this whole thing so fascinating and challenging.
Yeah.
It might not be just one explanation,
Right.
but a bunch of different factors that all contribute to the UAP phenomenon.
So we need to be open to all the possibilities and not jump to conclusions.
Exactly. But no matter where these UAPs come from, one thing is totally clear. We need a more open and transparent way of investigating them.
Yeah.
The level of secrecy we have now, this doesn't work.
And it's not just about satisfying our curiosity, is it?
No.
It's about public safety, national security, and, pushing forward scientific discovery.
Right.
If there are technologies out there that we don't get, technologies that could be a threat or offer these amazing advancements, we need to know about them. Absolutely. Think about the potential benefits if we could actually understand and harness the tech behind these UAPs.
Yeah.
Breakthroughs in energy propulsion materials, science. The possibilities are just mind-blowing.
It could totally change our world.
It could.
But those advancements could also come with big risks.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
If this technology is from a non-human intelligence, how can we make sure it's used ethically and responsibly?
That's a huge question.
It is. Who would even be in control?
That's where global cooperation becomes so important.
Okay.
We have to move past, those nationalistic agendas and work together as a global community to deal with this.
It really does feel like we're at the beginning of something brand new.
I think so.
An era where our understanding of the universe and our place in it is totally changing.
Yeah, it's exciting and a little scary at the same time.
It is. But we can't just bury our heads in the sand.
No, we can't.
We need to embrace the unknown and face it with courage and curiosity.
I agree. The truth is out there waiting for us to find it.
So if you could leave our listeners with one final thought to think about, what would it be?
I'd say stay curious. Keep asking questions and demand transparency from your leaders.
Yeah,
Don't be afraid to look up at the sky and wonder.
I like that.
You never know what you might see. And if you happen to see something unusual, don't hesitate to report it.
Good advice.
You could be part of one of the most important discoveries in human history.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the world of UAPs.
It's been a pleasure.
Keep looking up, keep questioning, and until next time, keep an open mind.